Ben,
Jacob,
how you doing?
good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Um, Elijah wants to know when we finish Tanya, is Chabad gonna have a new Rebbe, and is that Rebbe gonna be you?
I will be honored to be the next Rebbe.
You would definitely be honored if you were the next Rebbe. I have difficulty imagining you being the next Rebbe.
Yeah, I would need to grow a lot more beard in order to qualify for that.
There's a lot of things you'd have to do in order to qualify for that. Uh, I still have my dear hope that the Yanuka will, in fact, one day be named the successor to the Rabbi, but um, it is possible that that might not happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if they have any people in the running.
They definitely don't have any people in the running, and uh, I definitely do believe that it would be less of a shock and uh, dislike among the rank and file uh, if it were somebody um, like the Yanuka, who's a Sephardic rabbi who became a kind of leader that everybody coalesced around, than if somebody was clearly a successor. You know, you can kind of have the type of succession that uh, excuse me, Breslev now has. You know,
What's their succession? Do they have like?
well, they kind of do. They officially don't. They never had a they never appointed a Rebbe after Rabbi Nachman
Mm-hmm.
passed away, but they've always had a manhig from generation, and Rab Nassim or Rabbi
Yeah.
Nathan definitely became that manhig after, and there was a succession of people. The person who gets to lead Rosh Hashanah services at um, the kever
Mm-hmm.
is the leader of Breslov Hasidim.
I see.
Yeah. Whoever controls Uman is the Rebbe. Whoever controls the um, whoever controls the
The
official
crowd in Oman.
the official Rosh Hashanah services. I still have not been to Oman for Rosh Hashanah. I don't know if I will ever go. It has become a bit of a Israeli party space for people who
Mm-hmm.
aren't necessarily there for the shofar.
It's also pretty, big, like more problematic to get there now than ever before.
Yes, but Hasidim don't care. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah, yeah. Go to Uman for the girls. No, I think it's mostly the drugs. I think the drugs, not the girls, is why a lot of people go. Not the actual Breslov Hasidim, but a lot of people have. There's two types of Breslov. There's the actual Breslov Hasidim, and then there's the Nachnachis, and the
Mhm.
Nachnachis are wild.
The Nachachis are pretty wild. That is true. Wait, I can't see this thing. Uh-oh. Oh.
Your cat's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, I don't like that. But the cat did not want to do it. Did not want me to do that.
Yeah, the cat's like, no, that's this is not okay.
Wrong timing. Can
Yeah.
I lodge a complaint about this new help button on the right? Did you see this too?
Which help button on the right? I don't know.
Okay, I guess maybe it's just a glitch online. I don't need a help button
Where is it?
from like a StreamYard help button that's like overlaid on the screen. Anyway,
I don't see it. It might be a Mac thing.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it might be just right now. Okay,
You want to go first, or should I go first?
I can go first.
You're
Okay.
the married one. You're the married one.
The married one. I'm with the Eshet Chaim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is 29.
Mm-hmm.
Eshet Chayil Ateret Ba'ala Chule. A woman of valor is the crown of her husband. Ita Bagmara, Perek Daled di Megillah. Udeishtamesh Betaga Tage.
Taga Chala.
Taga Chalef. Chalaf. The Gemara in chapter, חלף וכולי. זה המשתמש במי ששונה הלכות, כתרה של תורה וכולי. So the Gemara in chapter 4 of Megillah, commenting on the teaching of our sages in Avot, that he who makes use of the crown passes away from this world, states, this applies to one who makes use of one who studies halachot, which are the crown of the Torah. Okay, we'll need to unpack this. I guess this is what this next thing is about. Tana
Devei Eliyahu.
כל השונה הלכות מובטח לו וכולי. The Gemara in Megillah goes on to say it was taught in the academy of Elijah that whoever studies halachot is assured of a share in Olam Haba, the world to come. וצריך להבין למה נקראו ההלכות בשם תגה וכתרה של תורה. Now it needs to be understood why the halachot are referred to as a crown or the crown of the Torah. וגם למה השונה הלכות דווקא? דווקא מובטח לו וכולי, מובטח לו עולם הבא ולא שאר דברי תורה. Furthermore, why is it that he who studies specifically halachot is assured of a share in the world to come and not other Torah subjects? וכן, להבין מאמר רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה בפרק י"א דמנחות, אפילו לא שינה אדם אלא פרק אחד שחרית וכולי, יצא ידי חובתו. One also needs to understand the teaching of our sages of blessed memory. In chapter 11 of Menachot, that even if one studied only a single chapter in the morning and a single chapter in the evening, he has fulfilled his obligation to study Torah. So what's halachot? Halachot would be considered the Mishnah?
No. Halachot are actually halacha pesuka would be like Rambam, Shulchan Aruch, right? Actual practical things of how you live your life according to the Torah.
Okay. ולמה אינו יוצא בידי חובתו בשאר דברי תורה? Why is one's duty to study Torah is not fulfilled by other Torah subjects, by themselves, I assume. אך מודעת זו, מה שאמר האריז"ל, שכל אדם מישראל צריך לבוא בגלגולים רבים עד שיקיים כל תרי"ג מצוות התורה במחשבה, דיבור ומעשה. However, it is well known that Rabbi Yitzchak Luria of blessed memory stated that the soul of every Jew needs to be reincarnated many times until he will fulfill all 613 commandments of the Torah in thought, speech, and action, using all the garments of the soul. להשלים לבושי נפשו ולתקנם שלא יהיה לבושה דחסרה וכולי. This is in order to complete the garments of his soul and to correct them so that no garment will be incomplete. Levad, מצוות התלויות במלך, שהוא מוציא כל ישראל, כי הוא כללות כולם וכולי. Accepted are the commandments incumbent only upon a king, because he discharges the obligation of all of Israel, as he is a corporate collective of them all. והטעם הוא, כדי להלביש כל תרי"ג בחינות וכוחות שבנפשו. The reason is in order to garb all the 613 aspects and powers of one's soul. אחת מאינה לא נעדרה וכולי. So that not one of them, of the mitzvot, will be lacking. וביור עניין הכרח. ביור עניין ההכרח וצורך לבושים אלו, מבואר בזוהר ומובן לכל משכיל. An explanation for the indispensability of these garments is given in the Zohar and is understandable by every thinking person. כי להיות שנפש רוח ונשמה שבאדם אין בחינות נבראים, ואי אפשר לשום נברא להשיג שום השגה בבורא ויוצר הכל אין סוף ברוך הוא. For the nefesh, ruach, and neshama and man are created entities. And it is impossible for any created being to attain any apprehension of the blessed creator and former of all who is infinite. וגם אחרי אשר ההיר השם מאורו התברך והציל בבחינת השתלשלות מדרגות רבות מדרגה אחר מדרגה. Moreover, even after God had radiated a glimmer of his blessed light and has caused an emanation in the form of an evolution of numerous descending degrees level beyond level, בבחינת צמצומים עצומים ולבושים רבים ועצומים, by way of intense contractions and numerous immense garments that obscure godliness, הידועים ליודעכן, these are familiar to the students of the Kabbalah, ונקראים באידרא רבא בשם שערות. And in the Idra Rabbah, these contracted degrees of divine illumination are referred to as hairs. Let's read this to a small note. Because the life force present in hair is so tenuous that it does not even convey sensation, the subtle glimmers of divine energy that filter through the above described contractions are referred to metaphorically as hairs. וכדכתיב בדניאל, ושער רישי...
שער, it's hair. Yeah.
ושער רישי כאמר נקה, וכולי. And as is written in Daniel, and the hair of his head is like white wool. אף על פי כן, לא יכלה הנפש או הרוח ונשמה למסבל האור. Nevertheless, neither the nefesh nor the ruach and neshama can endure the light. כי טוב ומתוק האור וכולי, for the light is good and sweet, intense. כמו שכתוב, לחסות בנועם השם, לשון נעימות וערבות ומתיקות ותענוג עצום לאין קץ. As it is written, to behold the pleasantness of God. The term pleasantness or noam denotes pleasantness, agreeableness, and sweetness, and an infinitely intense delight. כמו שכתוב, אז תתענג על השם. As it is written, then you will delight yourself in God. ואשביע בצחצחות. וכולי. And he will sate your soul with a pleasurable thirst. Tzachtzachut. Tzach. Yeah. Lashon tzicha tzama. The word tzachtzachut is related to tzicha tzama, parched with thirst. With thirst. Kmo shekatuv b'zohar, as is stated in the Zohar. ואין בכוחה לקבל הנעימות ועריבות הצחצחות, שלא תצא מנרתקה ותתבטל ממציאותה כנר באבוקה. It is not in the soul's power to absorb the pleasantness and agreeableness of the above, pleasurable thirst without leaving its husk, its limitation, and becoming wholly nullified, just like a candle flame becomes entirely nullified in a torch and cannot go outside of the torch. אם לא, שמבחינת אור זה עצמו תשתלשל ותימשך ממנו איזו הערה מועטת בדרך השתלשלות מדרגה אחר מדרגה וצמצומים רבים. Were it not that from this very light there will evolve and issue forth some minute radiance by way of an evolution of level after level with multitudinous contractions. עד שיברא ממנה לבוש אחד נברא, מעין מהות אור זה להלביש הנפש רוח ונשמה. Until a single garment is created of this contracted light, a creation akin to the nature of this light, with which to garb the nefesh ruach הנשמה. בדרך לבוש זה שהוא מעין אור, דרך לבוש זה שהוא מעין אור זה תוכל ליהנות מזיו אור זה ולהשיגו ולא תתבטל למציאותה. By way of this garment, which is akin to this light, the soul can derive enjoyment from the ray of this light and apprehend it without becoming wholly nullified out of existence. I guess the simple metaphor is like the same way that a garment can protect you from the ray of the sun itself. It protects you from the Or itself. וכמשל, הרואה בשמש דרך עששית זכה ומהירה וכולי. This is analogous to someone looking at the sun through a fine and lucid speculum. וכמו שכתוב, ויבוא משה בתוך הענן ויעל וכולי. Thus it is written, and Moses entered the midst of the cloud and he ascended the mountain. שנתלבש בענן ועלה וראה דרך הענן וכולי. That is, he vested himself in the cloud and ascended and saw by way of the cloud. Interesting. כמו שכתוב בזוהר, חלק ב' דף רש י' ורש כ"ט. Thus, it is explained in the Zohar, volume 2, page 210 and 229. והנה, אור זה הגנוז לצדיקים לעתיד לבוא, הנקרא בשם נועם השם, וצחצחות, להתענג על השם. Now this light, hidden away for the righteous for the time to come, is termed the pleasantness of God and the pleasurable thirst of delighting in God. ודלת מאות עלמין דכיסופין דמתענגי בהון צדיקיה וכולי. כמו שכתוב 400 שקל כסף וכולי. And also the 400 worlds of longing in which the tzaddikim delight, as it is written 400 shekalim of silver, kesef.
Yeah, so that's an understanding. The Hebrew kesef means kesef, but also nichsafti, right? I blanched. So almin de chesufin are the worlds of longing.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that again?
So the word kesef has two meanings. Well, really, it means to become white, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is silver, right? And that's how we get money, right? The other is lichsof, right? To become blanched, to become white from desire, right? Longing.
Okay. It's a little older Hebrew, but yeah.
Yeah, so in whatchamacallit, we say nichsafti, right? In lachadodi, say I longed. Yeah, it's in the liturgy.
Yeah. Okay. הנה יש בו מעלות ומדרגות רבות מאוד, גבוה מעל גבוה. This light comprises very many rungs and levels, one superior to the other.
Oh, Donnie is correcting me. It's from Yedid Nefesh, not Lachatadi. You're correct. Sorry.
Okay.
And he says it is a disgrace that we don't play Avram Fried's Tanya before every one of these, I am afraid of getting a copyright strike.
I don't think I've ever listened to.
I don't think I have either.
Okay. Well, so we need to correct that. He's right. At least for ourselves. הערה מועטת היורדת מדרגה אחר מדרגה, לברוע לבוש זה, היא ממכינת מדרגה האחרונה שבאור זה. But the minute radiance which descends level after level to create this garment that garbs the soul belongs to the lowest level of this light. ונקראת בשם מדרגה החיצונה ואחוריים דרך משל. Metaphorically speaking, this is referred to as the external level or אחוריים. כמו שכתוב בזוהר דף ר"ח עמוד ב' עיין בספר מקדש מלך בר"ש י' עמוד ב' ומה דאיש טהר וכולי. As stated in the Zohar, page 208b, the commentary entitled Mikdash Melech and 210b, and that which is left.
Meaning that the light.
Let's explore. Sorry, what?
Read the thing as well.
Meaning that the light, which is the source of the garment, is of the most external or hindermost level. Mm-hmm. The light, the final contraction.
Yes.
Right. והנה, כמו שבנשמת האדם יש בכוח התענוג שמתענגת ממה שיש לעונג ממנו, כמו מהשכלת שכל חדש וכהי גוונה. Now in the soul of man there is a faculty for pleasure. The soul takes pleasure in what it finds pleasurable, as in the conception of a new insight or the like. ובחינת חיצוניות ואחוריים של כוח ובחינת התענוג שבה, היא בחינת כוח הרצון שבה, דיינו דבר שנוצר, שעצר, ההפך התענוג. The external and hindermost aspect of the soul's power and state of the light is its faculty of will, willing that which it wills, i.e. something that is not painful, or for pain is the opposite of the light. So he's saying that the outermost part of the soul is will, mm-hmm. which I guess also is, I know, do we say about Malchut? That is...
We say it about Keter.
We say that right? About Keter.
Yeah, because a crown, right? While it's part of the king, and in essence, the crown is something completely external to him.
Yeah.
Right? And that Keter hu ratzon, right? So will is Keter, which is above the Partsuf.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm trying to think of because Keter is, when somewhere it's the highest part. I mean, it's not even the Sfirot, right? It's like the highest part.
In essence, here, let's look at the handy.
So why would, so let me complete the question. Why would it be the outermost? I would think that the outermost is the lowest level. It
is Keter hu Malchut, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's 10. It's 10.
I expected that. Yeah.
It's 9. It's 10, not 9. 10, not 11.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
וככה על דרך משל, באור אינסוף ברוך הוא, גם כן כביכול. Metaphorically speaking, it is the same with the infinite אינסוף light, as it were. Okay. הרצון העליון ברוך הוא היא בחינת חיצוניות ואחוריים, לבחינת עונג העליון ונועם השם וצחצחות ועלמין דכסופין הנזכרים לעין. The supernal will is the external and innermost aspect of the supernal delight, the pleasantness of God, the pleasure of thirst, and the worlds of longing. Okay? הגם שהם מיוחדים בתכלית הייחוד שהוא יתברך ורצונו אחד. Though these, the lights and the supernal will, are fused in absolute unity, for God and his will are one. ולא כרצון האדם חס ושלום, ולא מיני ולא מקציתה. And not heaven forfend like the will of man, neither wholly nor partially. ואין דמיון ביניהם כלל. There being no similarity whatsoever between them. So this note, man's will is not wholly one with the person himself. It is one of the soul faculties that he possesses. By contrast, God and his will are one. How then can we differentiate above between pleasure and will, saying that God's pleasure is internal and his will is external? So I guess this will be answered. אף על פי כן, דיברה התורה כלשון בני אדם. לשכך האוזן מה שיכולה לשמוע במשל ומליצה מנשמת האדם הכלולה מכוח התענוג והרצון והחוכמה והבינה וכו'. Nevertheless, the Torah speaks in human idiom in order to modulate for the ear, or to make it, to soften it for the ear, what it is able to hear, with allegory and metaphor relating to the soul of man, which compounds the faculty of the light, will, wisdom, understanding, and so on. וכנראה בחוש, כשאדם משכיל איזה שכל חדש נפלא, אזי באותה רגע על כל פנים נולד לו תענוג נפלא בשכלו. This is empirically evident for when a person conceives some wonderful new insight, then at that moment at least a wondrous delight is born in his mind. מכלל שהתענוג הוא למעלה מבחינת השכל והחוכמה, רק שמלובש בבחינת שכל וחוכמה. Thus it follows that the capacity for pleasure surpasses by far the faculty of intellect and wisdom. It merely is vested in the faculty of intellect and wisdom. Okay, let me read this again. Thus it follows that the capacity for pleasure surpasses by far the faculty of intellect and wisdom. It merely is vested in the faculty of intellect and wisdom.
You're right. It's above, it's beyond your intellect.
Okay. He's probably gonna go into that, but like when I think about pleasure, I mean, it almost makes me think about like the alev, the heart, right? So how does this correspond to the mind controls the heart?
So ratzon and ta'anug are different from emotions. Emotions, like, right, you have love, you have, right, you can have a love for something, right? But ta'anug and ratzon, those it's different. It's your how do I differentiate between the two, right?
Is he saying that it is was he saying something about them being external to the person, like it's something that you, right, not like an emotion that is, well, it's tough. Okay, we're gonna need to keep going. מכלל שהתענוג, okay, we read that. וכשהאדם מרגיש השכל וחוכמה דיינו, שמשיגה ומבינה היטב, אזי מרגיש גם כן בחינת התענוג המלובש בחוכמה. Okay? Thus, when a man feels a subject of intellect and wisdom, that is, he apprehends and understands it well, he then also senses the faculty of pleasure, which is vested in the subject of wisdom. Interesting. Okay, so it's like beauty. And like when you see something where like beauty is almost like a signal for something that's supposed to be true or good, even though obviously it can be, if you watch A Clockwork Orange, it's a very good experiment of how beauty can point to exactly the opposite.
This may be the first time anybody's used Clockwork Orange to explain Tanya.
Glad to be the first. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that will give me points for it to be the next Rebbe, or maybe we'll remove points.
Look, Clockwork Orange was made for the Torah in some way. So
yeah. Okay. Okay, so you feel the pleasure, you understand something, and it's like, Geschmack.
Geschmack, yes.
Okay. I don't know what's the Sephardic. You know what? Elijah knows.
I don't even know an English equivalent to Geschmack.
Elijah will tell us what's the Sephardic equivalent and what's the English equivalent. I expect him to know it.
There are very few things Elijah does not know. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. ולכן נקראת בחינת בינה בשם עולם הבא בזוהר הקדוש. That is why in the sacred Zohar the faculty of bina is referred to as the world to come. I guess that's why Tanug, also Shabbat, is like a taste of the world to come, and it's also a Tanug. It's also
Karata LaShabbat Oneg.
Oneg, right? Yeah. שהיא בחינת התגלות החוכמה. הבינה היא בחינת התגלות החוכמה, עם התענוג המלובש בה, שמשיגים הצדיקים בגן עדן ומשכילים בפנימיות התורה. For it is the state of manifestation of Chokhmah, together with the delight vested in it, which the righteous in the Garden of Eden apprehend and conceive new insights in the pnimiyut, the mystical dimension of the Torah. Dioraita mi Chokhmah nafka, veoraita vekuchabrichu kul achad. For the Torah derives from Chokhmah, and the Torah and the Holy One, blessed be He, are entirely one. אוקיי. והנה, רצון העליון ברוך הוא מכונה ונקרא בפי חכמי האמת בשם כתר עליון, ובו תף ריש כף עמודי אור וכו'. Now the supernal will is termed and referred to by the Kabbalists as Keter Elyon, the supreme crown. In it there are 620 pillars of light. 620.
It's the same letters as Keter.
Keter, right. פירוש, דרך משל. כמו שיש עמודים בבית חומה גדול, ניצבים בארץ ורשע מחובר בתקרה. That is, by way of analogy, just as in a large brick house, there are pillars standing in the ground and their apex is connected with the ceiling, connecting the lowest with the highest. ככה ממש על דרך משל, כתר עליון ברוך הוא למעלה מבחינת מדרגת החוכמה. Precisely so, metaphorically speaking, the supernal Keter transcends the level of Chokhmah, which is the first and highest of the inner sfirot. והוא מלשון כותרת, שהוא מכתיר ומקיף על המוחין שבראש, שהם בחינות חוכמה, בינה ודת. The word Keter is related to koteret, capital. Or in modern Hebrew, we also use it for headline. For it surrounds and encompasses over the brain and the head, i.e. the faculties of Chokhmah, Bina, Dat, Chabad. ורצון זה נתלבש בתרי"ג מצוות התורה ושבע מצוות דרבנן, שרובן ככולן הן מצוות מעשיות. This supernal will is vested in the 613 commandments of the Torah and the 7 precepts of the sages, practically all of which are operative commandments, require physical action. וגם התלויות בדיבור. And even those commandments that depend upon speech, like Torah study. הקיימלן, דהקימת שפתיו אבי מעשה. For we have an accepted halachic principle that the movement of one's lips in speech is regarded as an act. וגם התלויות במחשבה ובלב, and even those commandments relating to thought or to the heart, the love of God being one. הרי המצווה ניתנה לאדם הגשמי שבעולם הזה דווקא. The commandments were given only to physical man in this physical world, שהוא בעל בחירה להטות לבבו לטוב וכו'. מה שאין כן, הנשמה בלא גוף, אין צריך לצוותה על זה. because he has the choice to turn his heart to good and so on. The soul without a body, however, need not be commanded about this. ונמצא שהמצוות אין על דרך משל כמו עמודים ניצבים מרום המעלות, הוא רצון העליון ברוך הוא עד הארץ על אזור החומרית. Thus, it follows that the commandments, metaphorically speaking, are like pillars that stand and connect from the highest levels vis-a-vis the supernal will to this material world. והן על דרך משל כמו עמודין חלולין שמקיפין ומלבישין נשמת האדם או רוחו או נפשו כשמקיים את מצוות. Metaphorically speaking, they are like hollow pillars that encompass and garb with the garment of mitzvot man's neshama or ruach or nefesh when he fulfills the commandments. ודרך עמודים אלו עולין הנפש רוח נשמה שלו עד רום המעלות לצרור בצרור החיים את השם. פירוש, להיות צרורות ומלובשות באור הכתר הוא רצון העליון ברוך הוא. By way of these pillars of the mitzvot, his nefesh, ruach, and neshama ascend to the highest of levels, to be bound up in the bond of life with God, that is, to be bound up and vested in the light of Keter, which is the supernal will.
Right? And I mean, he's explained this several times, but we see we do an action, which is the action that God wants, and we're manifesting in the material world the desires of God, which are from beyond anything else.
Mm-hmm. ועל ידי לבוש זה יוכלו לחזות בנועם השם וצחצחות שלמעלה ממעלת הכתר ואין פנימיותו על דרך משל. And by means of this garment, they are able to behold the pleasantness of God and the pleasurable thirst, which transcend the level of Keter, and metaphorically speaking, are its pnimiut. והגם שנתבהר במקום אחר, שהמצוות אין פנימיות רצון עליון ברוך הוא. Though it is explained elsewhere, the commandments are the pnimiut, the innermost element of the supernal will. While here it is explained that they are merely the external aspect of Keter, i.e. the external aspect of supernal will. Okay? And הנה מודעת זאת לידי כן, ריבוי בחינות ומדרגות שיש בכל בחינה ומדרגה ממדרגות הקדושה. The students of the Kabbalah are well acquainted with the multitude of aspects and levels within every aspect and level among the various levels of holiness. כמה בחינות פנים לפנים וכמה בחינות אחוריים לאחוריים לאין קץ וכו'. There are numerous aspects of face-to-face, and there are numerous aspects of externality to externality without end. So right, there's like it's relative they are relative to the different levels. והנה שבע מצוות דרבנן אינן נחשבות מצוות בפני עצמן, שהרי כבר נאמר לא תוסף. Now the 7 precepts of the sages are not counted as commandments in themselves, for it has been said, you shall not add to the commandments. אלא יוצאות ונמשכות ממצוות התורה וכלולות בהן במספר תרי"ג, להלביש תרי"ג בחינות וכוחות שבנפש רוח נשמת האדם. Rather, they derive an issue from the commandments of the Torah and are included in them in the sum of 613 commandments, which garb the 613 aspects and powers in the nefesh, ruach, and neshama of man. וזהו שכתוב בזוהר הקדוש פרשת פקודי, דף רכ"ט עמוד ב', דאינון עובדין תבין, דעביד ברנש, משכי, מנאורה, דזיבה, אילאה, לבושה וכו'. וחמי וכולי בנועם השם וכולי. This is the meaning of the statement in the sacred Zohar, Parashat Pekudei, page 229b, that the good deeds, the mitzvot, which man does elicit a garment from the light of the supernal splendor, from the level of Keter, and they behold the pleasantness of God. והגם, דעתה מאירי, בגן עדן התחתון שהלבושים שם הם מצוות מעשיות ממש. Though there the Zohar speaks of the lower Garden of Eden where the garments derive from the truly practical commandments, so that they don't result from the supernal wills above, but from the merit of physical action. So he's talking about how there's contradiction in how the effect of the 7 mitzvot, the precepts.
Well, I mean, he's explaining why the 7 mitzvot, right? We said there's 620 lights, right? But there's only 613 mitzvot. And the 7 mitzvot are not considered, 7 Sheva mitzvot, the Rabbanan, are not considered mitzvot in and of themselves. Yeah. They're extensions. So how could that be? And he's explaining, I guess, I mean, as best as I can understand it, that these are also garments that extend and become mitzvot, and have that same connection.
אוקיי, אבל בגן עדן העליון הלבושים הם מרעותה כוונה, דליבה, באורייתא וצלותה. צלותה. כמו שכתוב בזוהר שם דף ר"י. While in the upper Gan Eden, the garments derive from the love and devotion of the heart with respect to the Torah and prayer, as stated in the Zohar, page 210. Okay. הרי הכוונה היא כוונת עסקו בתורה לשמה מאהבת השם. However, this devotion from whence these garments derive refers to the devotion of one's occupation with Torah for its own sake, out of one's love of God. ומצוות תלמוד תורה היא גם כן מכלל מצוות מעשיות. The commandments to study Torah also belongs to the class of practical commandments. דהקימת שפתיו הווה מעשה, וערעור לאו כדיבור דמי, ואינו יוצא ידי חובתו בערעור לבדו וכן בתפילה. For the movement of one's lips and speech is regarded as an act, and meditation does not count as speech. Thus, one does not discharge his duty by meditation alone. The same applies to prayer, where you must articulate your words. ומה גם כי מעלת הכוונה על הדיבור ומעשה אינה מצד עצמה וכולי. And certainly so, considering that the superiority of devotion, kavana, over speech and action is not due to its own merits, אלא מצד הערת רצון העליון וכולי, but because of the radiance from the supernal will.
To answer Elijah, the halacha is actually that you do need to say the words even in tefillah, but it should be so silently that only you yourself can hear it inside your own head.
Right, and also, I mean, when he talks about kavanah here, it's also very specific to the first 2 blessings of the Amidah, right, and the Shema, and the first part of the Shema, like where, like, I mean, like here, there specifically, you want to like make sure, like, if you don't have kavanah, you need to repeat, which is interesting.
Right.
You're not discharged.
Well, okay, yeah, you have to have kavanah, but he, Elijah's asking, do you have to actually say the physical words?
Right, yeah. No, I was talking about also in the aspect of thought, because now we're talking, aspect of thought, dibur, and thought, and kavanah, that also, I mean, in that aspect is incorporated into the masi. Okay. Where are we?
I'm not sure. Where were we? וכן בתפילה, right? We said, okay. ומה גם?
ומה גם? כי מעלת הכוונה על הדיבור מעשה אינה מצד עצמה וכולי. And certainly so, considering that the superiority of devotion, kavanah, over speech and action is not due to its own merits, right? And I think we read that. אלא מצד הארת הרצון העליון. But because of the radiance from the supernal will. כמו שנתבאר בליקוטי אמרים, חלק א', פרק ל"ח באריכות עיין שם. As is explained at length in Likutei Amarim, part 1, chapter 38. See there. והנה מודעת זאת, כי הנה רצון העליון ברוך הוא המלובש בתרי"ג מצוות שבתורה שבכתב, הוא מופלא ומכוסה, תמיר ונעלם, ואינו מתגלה אלא בתורה שבעל פה. Now, as is known, the supernal will, as vested in the 613 commandments of the written Torah, is hidden and covered, secreted and concealed. It is manifest only in the oral Torah. כמו מצוות תפילין על דרך משל, שנאמר בתורה שבכתב, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. For example, the precept of tefillin in the written Torah it is stated, and you shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be the frontlets between your eyes. והוא מאמר סתום ונעלם, שלא פירש שכתוב איך ומה לקשור, ומהו תוטפות, והיכן הוא בין עיניך ועל ידיך. This is an indistinct and obscure statement. For scripture did not explain how and when, what to bind, nor what frontlets are, nor where is between your eyes exactly, or on your hand. עד שפירשה התורה שבעל פה שצריך לקשור בית אחד על היד, וד' בתים על הראש, ובתוכם ד' פרשיות. Until the oral Torah explicates that one needs to bind a single box on the hand, and 4 boxes on the hand containing 4 scriptural passages. והבתים יהיו מאור מעובד ומרובעים דווקא, ומקושרים ברצועות של אור שחורות דווקא. Moreover, the boxes are to be made of prepared leather and necessarily square, and to be tied by means of ladder straps which need to be black. וכל שאר פרטי הלכות עשיית התפילין שנאמרו בעל פה. With all the other detailed rulings governing the making of tefillin that were stated orally. ועל ידיך, היא הזרוע דווקא ולא כף היד, ובין עיניך זה קודקוד ולא על המצח. Also on your hand refers not only to the arm, refers only to the arm and not to the palm of your hand, and between your eyes refers to the scalp and not to your scalp. Yes, scalp is not a thing.
Not a thing. And to answer Donnie's question, it's because your neshama needs tzama lacha nafshi. It needs Tanya like a starving man needs water.
It's tzachut.
Yeah.
Right. וכן כל מצוות שבתורה, בין מצוות עשה, בין מצוות לא תעשה, אינן גלויות וידועות ומפורשות, אלא על ידי תורה שבעל פה. Likewise, all the commandments of the Torah, whether they be positive precepts or prohibitory precepts, are not revealed and known and made explicit except through the oral Torah. כמצוות לא תעשה, שנאמר בשבת, לא תעשה מלאכה, ולא פירש מהי מלאכה. For instance, the prohibitory precept that has been stated with respect to the Shabbat, you shall do no work. The written Torah does not specify what constitutes work. ובתורה שבעל פה נתפרש שהן למד תף מלאכות הידועות.
למד תת.
Yeah, I always get those right. למד תת מלאכות הידועות. That's my small dyslexia, I guess. שהן ל"ט מלאכות הידועות ולא טלטול אבנים וקורות כבדות. In the oral Torah, however, it is explicated to refer to the well-known 39 forms of work for the Mishkan, and not only to the carrying of stones or heavy beams, which is only rabbinically prohibited. וכיוצא בהן הן כל המצוות, בין מצוות עשה, בין מצוות לא תעשה. הן סתומות ולא מפורשות וגלויות וידועות, אלא על ידי תורה שבעל פה. And as it is with the above examples of Tefillin Shabbat, so it is with all the commandments, whether they be positive precepts or prohibitory precepts. They are indistinct and are explicated and revealed and known only through the oral Torah, through the Chachamim. ומשום אחי כתיב על תורה שבעל פה, אל תיטוש תורת אמך, כמו שכתוב בזוהר. This is why scripture says of the oral Torah, and you shall not cast off the teaching of your mother, as stated in the Zohar. So is that אל תיטוש תורת אמך is in the Zohar?
No, Al Titosh Torah Timecha, it comes from Ecclesiastes, I think. But
okay.
The Proverbs.
Okay. And the Zohar
explains that when it says Torah Imecha, right? That because the verse says, do not forget the chastisement of your father and the Torah of your mother. The Zohar explains what's the difference. The chastisement of your father is the written Torah, and the teachings of your mother, that is the oral Torah.
Yeah, that's the first sentence in the Ramban, the letter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I remember that commentary on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't sure the source. משום שעל דרך משל כמו שכל איברי הוולד כלולים בטיפת האב בהלם גדול, והאם מוציאתו לידי גילוי בלידתה ולד שלם ברמח איברים ושסה גדים. Metaphorically speaking, just as all the organs of a child are comprised very latently in the sperm of the father, and the mother brings this out into a state of manifestation when giving birth to a child that is complete with 248 organs and 365 sinews, Bezrat Hashem. ככה ממש הכל רמ"ח מצוות עשה ושסה ושסה. מצוות לא תעשה באים מהעלם אל הגילוי בתורה שבעל פה. Exactly so do the 248 positive precepts and the 365 prohibitory precepts emerge from obscurity to manifestation through the oral Torah, which is therefore called the teachings of your mother. Interesting. ורישי דקרא.
Kra is verse, yeah.
Shma b'ni musar, whereas the beginning of the verse, interesting. In the Gemara, it says it uses a different expression to say this, right?
What do you mean?
The beginning of the verse. I feel like Rishay, or maybe it does say Rishay Dichtiv, or maybe it says something else. Because I remember learning that. Okay. Anyway. ורישי דקרא שמע בני מוסר אביך כהי התורה
Koi.
What?
Koi.
Interesting. Yeah. Koi atora shebechtiv. How did it get to koi?
Well, this, I guess the kamatz is a kamatz katan. This is this is a common Aramaic term in the Gemara that, at least at my yeshiva, they called koi. I don't know. Donnie probably knows better than I do. Yeah.
See. Koi התורה שבכתב, דנפקא מחוכמה עילאה הנקראת בשם אב. Whereas the beginning of the verse, heed my son, the admonishments of your father, alludes to the written Torah, which derives from the supernal chokhmah, which is called father. וזהו שכתוב אשת חיל עטרת בעלה. כי התורה שבעל פה הנקראת אשת חיל, המולידה ומעמדת חיילות הרבה. This then is the meaning of the verse quoted at the beginning. A woman of valor is the crown of her husband. For the oral Torah is termed a woman of valor, who gives birth and raises many legions. כמו שכתוב, ועולמות אין מספר. אל תקראי עולמות, אלא אלמות, כמו כתוב, אלמות אין מספר. אל תקרא אלמות, אלא עולמות. אלו הלכות דלת לון חושבנה, כמו שכתוב בתיקונים. As it is written, and maidens without number, alamot, do not read alamot, but olamot, which means worlds. These innumerable worlds alluding to the halachot that are without number, as stated in the tikkunim. וכולם הן בחינת גילוי רצון העליון ברוך הוא הנעלם בתורה שבכתב. All of these halachot are manifestations of the supernal will which is hidden in the written Torah. ורצון העליון ברוך הוא למעלה ממעלת החוכמה עילאה, וכמו כתר ועטרה שעל המוחין שבראש. The supernal will, which belongs to the Sphira of Keter, is exceedingly more sublime than the level of the supernal Chokhmah, just as a crown or a wreath is higher than the brains in the head. Okay, can you go up one paragraph, please? All these are a manifestation also, which is hidden in their oral Torah. Okay, got it. לכן יקראו ההלכות בשם תגה וכתרה של תורה. This is why the halachot are referred to as a crown and the crown of the Torah. והשונה הלכות מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא. Likewise, whoever studies specifically halachot is assured of a share in the world to come. על ידי התלבשות נפש רוח נשמה שלו ברצון העליון ברוך הוא, by investing his נפש רוח הנשמה in the supernal will, כנזכר לעיל, as stated above.
Got it?
I need to dwell on this. I guess we should do, maybe after we do like a chapter of Tanya, we can do, maybe that's why the song that Danny mentioned would be good, because you need to meditate on some of these things for like.
Yedid Nefesh?
Well, you mentioned Tanya at the beginning.
Oh, that song Tanya by well, I can't play it.
I guess it's the same guy probably that has it.
By Avram Fried. I was gonna say, I mean, if you really want me to sing Yedid Nefesh, I could, but my voice is pretty horrible. I don't even know the song Tanya by Avram Fried.
Me neither.
I'm really bad at Nikonim. Weiter?
Weiter. I have about 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Donnie wants my channel to be deleted by for copyright strikes by whatchamacallit. Can we get through this in 35 minutes? Let's
This is one before last, right?
This is, yeah, I think 31 is no.
Okay.
Yeah, then, there's 32 epistles. Where were we? Nadam Sharim. What? No.
Wait, were we in 30?
I've confused myself. We're
I think we're at 30.
30, right. Mudat Zot. Okay. Mudat Zot. Ma Shamru Rabbeinu Zichronam Laracha. כל הרגיל לבוא לבית הכנסת ויום אחד לא בא הקדוש ברוך הוא שואל עליו שנאמר מי בכם ירא השם. So the sages said someone who comes to the synagogue every day and he doesn't come one day, God's going to ask, what happened, right? As it says in the verse, who among you fears, who listens to the voice of his prophet servant who walked in the darkness and for whom no light shone? I don't know that particular verse. Where is that particular verse? Isaiah 50:10. Okay. וכן בכל המצוות, ובפרט מצוות הצדקה, ששכולה כנגד כל המצוות. This same principle applies to all of the mitzvot, especially regarding tzedakah, which is equal, balanced against all of the mitzvot. Hagam shehi bli neder chas v'shalom, even though someone does not actually make a neder, does not make a vow, heaven forfend. Aval pichen kol hachayil asher nagad yirat Hashem belipam lo yata lenafsham ha'elokit latet migraot bakodesh. Nevertheless, it is not becoming to the divine soul of all the men of valor whose hearts the fear of God has touched, that they should reduce migraot bakodesh, that which is holy, right? They've attained a level of holiness that they should have less. Ma'asher kavar hurgalu mideh shana lahafrish me'odam, right? That they were, they had accustomed themselves to give a certain amount every year. Lachayot ruach shafalim v'nitkaim deleit lahon migarmehon, right? To revive the spirit of the humble and downcast who don't have anything of their own, especially apparently those of the of living in the Holy Land. He bechinat sukat David hanofelet, which during the time of exile is referred to as the fallen booth or sukkah of David. Lekomem uleromem, to raise them and to exalt them. Lemeheve echad be'echad, so that oneness be united with oneness. Hakol lefi rov ha'maaseh, and everything is judged according to the multiplicity of actions. Lefi ha'cheshbon, according to the account. K'ma'amar Rabbeinu Zechronam L'Bracha, kol pruta upruta mitztarefet l'cheshbon gadol. Like our sages said, every individual coin given to charity comes to be a great amount. Al derech ma'amar Rabbeinu Zechronam L'Bracha, eimatai gadol havaya keshahu be'ir Elokeinu. Like our sages taught, when is God called great? When it is in the city of our God, meaning, I guess, tzedakah that's given to the land of Israel. Hi bechinat makom hacheshbon. This is the spiritual state and the place of reckoning cheshbon. Oh, okay. So I guess he's talking about Ir Elokeinu as the Sfira of Malchut, okay, which is the place of reckoning, Cheshbon. Kemo shekatuv einayich berachot becheshbon, as it is written, your eyes are wells in Cheshbon.
Where does it say that?
Must be Shir Hashirim. Yeah, Shir Hashirim 7:5. והמכוון כנודע And what this statement means, as is apparent to those who know things, which apparently isn't us. כי בהתעוררותא דלתתא המשכת חיים חן וחסד במעשה הצדקה ברצון הטוב וסבר פנים יפות התעוררותא דלתתא אלא, right? When there is an arousal from below through our actions of goodness and kindness, there will be an arousal from above. Ya'er havaya panav hu ha'arat v'hamshachat chen v'chesed v'ratzon elyon. Right? God will shine his face upon us, his countenance upon us, and with a radiance and downflow of grace and kindness and supreme favor. Mechayeh ha'chayim ein sof baruch hu asher legedulato ein cheker v'hasaga klal. From the fountain life, head of life, they said, the blessed Ein Sof, that his greatness is unfathomable and utterly incomprehensible. El bechinat malchutcha malchut kol olamim alma deitkalia. And from there, it's brought down into that aspect of the kingdom of all worlds, which is the worlds of revelation or manifestation. המחיה כל הבריאים שבכל ההיכלות עליונים ותחתונים שהן בבחינת מספר וחשבון, which gives life to all of the things which have been created, whether above or below, but are considered something that can be reckoned, something that can be counted. כמו שכתוב, 1,000 אלפים ישמשונה. As it is written, 1,000 thousands minister unto him. Where is this written? Also Shir Hashem? Daniel. Okay, I should have known that. It's in Aramaic. וזהו חשבון גדול שעל ידי רוב מעשה הצדקה שלום. And this is the great amount for numerous acts of charity bring about peace. כי פירוש שלום הוא דבר המחבר ומתווך שני קצוות הופכים. Because peace is that which joins and conciliates two opposite extremes. שהן קצה השמיים לאלה בחינת ולגדולתו אין חקר. That's the one opposite is the heavens above, which is his unfathomable greatness. וקצה השמיים לטאטה, which is and the extreme of the inferior heaven, המתלבש בבריאה יצירה עשייה בחינת גבול ומספר, which extends to the worlds of Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya in a category of finitude and number. V'dai lemevin, and those who understand such things will understand. That was a very short letter.
Was a question that came up in my mind when he was talking about shalom.
Yeah.
See, shalom is bringing two opposites together, or
yeah.
So I was wondering if it's, and what is the difference between that? If that's the definition of shalom, what's the difference between that and ahava?
Ahava is to give. That's not chibur. That I don't know why you would consider ahava to be. I mean, yeah, I think that's
a connection between two things.
Yeah, that's more of the Christian part of our little sphere tends to talk about relationality and love being that which connects two things. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's really a Jewish way of looking at it.
Okay, but is there an aspect of it that is? So you're saying it's more
relational, but there are many things that can relate to things together. It's not just love that relates two things together.
Yeah.
I mean to say that ahava means chibur. Yeah, I guess it does. Like it means closeness. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but shalom is not a question of closeness, right? You make peace between enemies. You don't make peace between friends,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this letter is actually pretty short. Do you want me to try it?
Sure.
Okay. Noda b'sha'arim. This is well known. Ma shekatuv b'tikunim, what is written in the Tikunei Zohar, I guess. The shkinta ihi mar'a b'galuta kavyachol. that
Do you want me to go for it? Smell it.
I took a drink of water. I should be fine. The Shekhinah is ailing in the exile, as it were. Perush. Well, that means al derech mashal, right? It's an allegory. Kmo cholei haguf. There we go. Like a person might have a sickness. Hamavdil ben kodesh. Distinguishing, of course, between holy and mundane things, right? Obviously, right? We're we're talking about two different things. שסיבת החולי והבריאות היא התפשטות והילוך החיות מהלב אל כל האיברים. The cause of illness or health lies in the distribution and flow of the life force from the heart to all of the organs. Hamelubeshet bedam hanefesh hayotze mahalev el kol ha'avarim, right? This life force which is in the blood, which extends to from the heart everywhere. Vesovev sovev holech haruach chayim b'hadam. And this blood and spirit of life circulates all around. Toch kol ha'avarim v'agidim hamuvlaim bahem, which includes all the limbs and through the veins that are embedded in them. V'chozer halev, and then it comes back to the heart. V'im sivu v'hiluch haruach chayim halaz hu behilchato temidi kesidro hamesudar lo mechayeh chayim baruch hu. If the circulation and flow is all as it should be from the fountainhead of life, azai hadam bari betachlit, then that person is completely healed, healthy. Ki kol ha'evarim mekusharim yachad umekablim chayutam hara'i lehem halev al yedei sivuv halaz. Right, the circulation gives them all of the vitality they need.
Right, good flow.
What? Good
flow.
Im yesh eze kilkul be'ezehu makoman, right? But if there's some sort of disorder someplace, hamonea u'makev o ma'et sivuv vehiluch hadam im haruach chayim hamalubash bo, right? If there can't be the circulation as it should be in and it doesn't flow where it needs to, אז נפסק או מתמעט הקשר הלז המקשר כל האיברים אל הלב על ידי סיבוב הלז, right? Then that circulation is no longer there, which connects the heart to all of the pieces. ואזי נופל האדם למשכב וחולי, השם ישמרנו. Then a person becomes sick and ends up in bed. God should protect us. V'kacha mamash, and in a similar manner, al derech mashal is the allegory. הנה כל נשמות ישראל נקראים בחינת אברי דשכינתה. Right? All of Israel are referred to as organs of the Shekhinah. Hanikret b'shem lev, which is called the heart. Kamo shekatuv v'tzur levavi. Kamo shekatuv v'shachanti betocham. Right? Like it says, it is written, the rock, my heart, and it says, I will dwell within them. Perush. Ki lashon shchina hu sheor havaya shochen ba'olamot bria yetzira asiya la'chayotan. Right? When we refer to the Shekhinah, we mean the light from Havaya, right? God Himself, which is abides in the worlds of Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, to give them life. והמשכת חיות זה היא על ידי התלבשות תחילה בנשמות ישראל. And this comes about from first being vested in the souls of Israel. לפי שכל הנבראים אין ערוך להם אל הבורא יתברך. This is so because none of the created beings stand in any comparable relation to the Creator. The chola kamei kala mamash chashivin, that all of them are as nothing before Him. ואי אפשר להם לקבל חיות מאורו ושפעו יתברך. They can't actually receive directly from God Himself. להיות נבראים מאין ליש וחיים וקיימים, to be created things, created ex nihilo, into substantiality and to be living and subsisting. Ki al yedei ha-neshamot, except by means of their soul. Yeah?
Okay.
Sha'alu b'machshava. For these things were arose in God's thought. V'kadmu lebriya olamot shal yedei bechinat hadibur. Thus preceded the creation of the worlds, which came about through speech, right? So God thought about it, and then He said it, and He brought it into being. K'ma'amar Rabbeinu Zichron Levracha b'mi nimlach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who did God take counsel with? And this opinion is that it was with Jewish souls. K'noda b'makom acher, as is known from elsewhere. V'noda b'sha'arim, and this is also known. Ki kol hamshachat hachayut v'hashpa'a me'elyonim latachtonim mehen, that every downflow of divine life force and all affluence from the upper worlds to the worlds which are lower than them, hen kamosh katuv b'sefer Yetzirah, na'utz techilatan besofan v'sofan betchilatan. Like Sefer Yetzirah says, the end is wedged in the beginning, and the beginning is edged in the end. Kitvei Harizal mechune b'shem or yashar or chozer, and this is referred to in the writings of the Arizal as the direct light and the reflected light. Ukamosh katuv v'hachayot ratzo v'shov, like it says, I believe in Ezekiel, right, that the chayot were advancing and retreating.
Chayot in the vision.
Yeah, chayot hakodesh. Yeah. Asher al ken al pi hadavarim va'amet ha'ele asher ei efshar leva'er heitev b'michtav. So, according to all of these things which cannot be clearly explained in writing, nikret hashchina b'shem lev. So we refer to the Shekhinah as the heart, v'haneshamot b'shem evarim, and the souls as organs. Lahorot lanu ki ka'asher kol haneshamot devukot umekusharot yachad. Right? That teaches us that when all of the souls are bound together, אזי סיבוב והילוך והחיות וההשפעה סובב סובב, that there's this continuous circulation like we described above. ונעוץ סופן בתחילתן, לקשר לחבר כולן להוויה אחד, לדבקה בו יתברך. Right? The end is wedged in the beginning, so that everything could be bound and joined together with Hashem and to cleave to. וכמו שכתב, אתם ניצבים היום כולכם לפני הוויה אלוקיכם.
Which is with this week's parsha, I'm pretty sure.
I could believe it. It is Deuteronomy 29.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be. Is it this week's parsha? Rosh Hashanah. Really? We're that close. When is
Rosh Hashanah? Is next week.
Wow. Okay. Time goes fast when you're having fun.
Hmm?
Time goes fast when you're having fun.
Sure.
Kulchem daika velifnei daika. Right? All of you, that means all together, before, meaning before in a very literal sense. Roshechem chulu mechotev etzechem, from the greatest to all the way to the people who chop the wood. Uvazeh yuvan ma'amar rabotenu zechron v'lecha ki churban bait sheni nefilat Israel bagalut. Right? This clarifies the teaching of our sages that the destruction of the second temple and the fall of Israel into exile, v'istalkut hashchina v'yirdata le'edom bebechinat galut k'vyachol, right? And similarly, the withdrawal of the Shekhinah and its descent into Edom in a state of exile, hakol haya ba'avon sinat chinam u'perud levavot rachmana litzlan. That all of this was caused by there being insufficient, by there being hatred and division, right, among the heart, between their hearts. God have mercy. V'lachen nikret chola al derech mashal. Therefore, the Shekhinah can be referred to as being sick. In a manner. כמו שכתוב, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, לשון רבים, הם כל האיברים. And so when it says, when it refers to those who are fallen and those who are sick, it refers to them in plural, right? All the reference is being made to the Shekhinah. This alludes to all of the organs. Interesting.
So, I mean, so they flip it, like he refers to the Shekhinah. But
well, so yeah, the Shekhinah is somech noflim, is rofeh cholim, right? But
the pshat is it's not the Shekhinah. I mean, like the pshat.
No, it is, but he's saying it's somech noflim, right? So the noflim refers to the evarim, right? So it's the Shekhinah with the many of the
organs.
Yeah, which I mean, they're Reshut HaYachid, Reshut HaRabim, right? We have this one and many contradistinction constantly.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Jacob, how would you respond to atheists who say the existence of God is logically impossible under the law of identity? Since God is infinite, he has no specific identity and therefore no existence. Not existent. I would say we believe in divine simplicity, which says God does not exist. God is existence itself.
I think that's basically what Chazi responded to that question.
Oh, it was the exact same question?
Yeah, I think this is Kirk, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. And Chazi said the same thing? Baruch shekavanti.
Yes.
Yeah?
I had something on, I forgot it.
You forgot.
I
How can you
forgot.
possibly forget?
So this is the last chapter.
This is the last chapter of this part.
So
And then we will get into Kuntras Acharon. I don't know Spinoza very well, but Spinoza's problem was that he was a deist, and he believed that God was, we are not pantheists, we are panentheists. We believe that God is beyond everything. Sorry. So next week, and then we'll get into Kuntras Acharon, which I believe has 10 chapters.
Shanaba.
I guess so. Yeah. When is
I'm pretty sure it's Friday. Let's check together now because that will help me too.
Rosh Hashanah starts on Wednesday night.
What?
Yeah. That's what my calendar says.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very long weekend.
Yeah, it's a 3-day weekend. It's a this year the holidays will kill you. This year the holidays, the only holiday that falls on Shabbat is Yom Kippur. So you have 5 days of Chag for Sukkot, and you have 5 days of Chag for Sukkot. Sukkot is going to be a killer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sukkot starts with a 3-day Chag as well. Yeah. So this year you have to make Eruv Tafshilin. There's all kinds of laws about. So
Simchat Torah is Friday.
Simchat Torah.
Shmini Atzeret Thursday.
Oh yeah, no, that'll be done. But yeah, that'll be done. Simchat Torah and Shmini Atzeret. Oh, will that fall into? Okay, now I have to look on Chabad because I was looking just on my calendar. Here. So we're looking at the month. So next month. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Shmini Atzeret goes into Simchat Torah, goes into what
does that mean? What's going on in Simcha on Friday, like during the day? What's going on? Remind me.
Friday of Simchat Torah?
Yeah. Is there something during the day?
Yeah. Friday of Simchat Torah.
Maybe the Akafot.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
and Chatan Bereshit, everybody is supposed to get an Aliyah. Yeah. Yeah,
on Friday morning?
Yeah. This year's holiday schedule is one of those which, like, yeah, especially first year law associates end up losing their jobs over. Yeah, this is a pink slip calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My great recommendation to anyone who's who's only trying these holidays for the first time is go easy on yourself, because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the drinking.
Also the drinking, you should go easy on yourself, but all of it you should go. You should generally go easy on yourself. I mean, my rule of thumb is if you always succeed, you're not trying hard enough, and if you always fail, you're trying too hard. You should succeed more than you fail, but you should
Mhm.
also fail some.
Yeah. It's a good rule.
That's my rule. Okay.
Do you hear that?
I heard something falling. Yes.
Yeah. Everything's okay here.
I'm glad to hear everything's okay there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So we will see each other next week.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.